Today we speak in Mahapatran's form about capitals, how capitals are chosen, and whether there are any patterns for countries choosing a particular city or creating a particular city as its own national capital. Capitals, as all of us know, are not merely cities of a country, but often the capital itself is associated with the opinion, the personality of the country. For example, if in the international circle someone says that the New Delhi is leaning towards Moscow, that means India is leaning towards Russia. If someone says that Washington is ambivalent about the Middle East policy, that means probably the views of USA is being aggregated in speaking Washington as a word. So capitals are not merely political and bureaucratic centers of activity. They are fulcrum of economic, industrial, social, and many times cultural personalities of different countries. Some of the capitals have become key global centers due to historical regions, due to geopolitical regions, the location and the traditional historical connections with different parts of the world that a particular city has defined its character over a period of centuries and millennia. As we discuss why capitals are formed and what goes into forming a capital, one thing that comes first and foremost is because it is the administrative seat, or from where at least one of the three, that is the political, the judicial, and the administrative centers, are being conducted. We must remember that the convenience and its accessibility will always be foremost. So, in many countries, like the Madrid in Spain, which is located almost exactly at the physical center of the country, or the new capital of Nigeria, which is known as the city of Abuja, was created at the exact center in order to keep that convenience of accessibility, approachability, and the control system of a country to traverse the distance in an equally facilitated manner throughout the country. We also know that in history there is this famous instance where Muhammad bin Tughlaq thought that India is too big a country to be administered from a place like Delhi, and he decided that in central provinces, a place like Daulatabad in Maharashtra will be the capital, although he rescinded the decision. But many times the location is determined either as a central place, as I just told. In fact, New Delhi, when the invaders invaded our country, was almost at the center of the northern India, up to, if you take J&K and the Himalayas, and New Delhi was the center, or the port of first entry, the nearest city to that is often created as capital. Goa was the capital of Portuguese, and Calcutta was the capital of the East India Company, and so on. If the capital is not at the center, typically there are historical reasons why the capital is not at the center. In such a case, most often it is the most populous city of a particular country, because social activities, cultural activities, political activities, legal activities, building of institutions, building of trade and commerce go around the places where there are maximum population, and as a result the maximum amount of affluence. So institution building and the network building and logistic building, infrastructure building happens around that place. It is for that reason that many of the cities are closer to places having maximum population. In fact, in many countries, the population of the capital is often a quarter or more of the total national population. Take, for example, London, Seoul, Tokyo. All these are predominantly populated clusters or urban clusters in a particular country. The typical choice of being the most populous also brings into focus that the voter's right to ascertain which city of the country should be the most preferred place for capital. But many times the choice of capital, historically it is seen, is also a result of a compromise. For example, in United States of America, when an original capital city was being contemplated, a bill was being proposed to make Pennsylvania as the capital. But it raised alarm bells across the country, because if a northern city were to become the capital of the country, then it was decided that there should be another capital in the southern part of the country. And as a result, a compromise land in Maryland and Virginia area was chosen, where it was absolutely undeveloped and a new city was built. Often, in many countries, there are more than one capital for many reasons, either for balancing the geographical spread of the power of governance of a country, or because of compromises, or because of historical reasons. For example, in South Africa, Pretoria is its administrative capital, Cape Town is its legislative capital, and Bloemfontein is its judicial capital. There are many countries like Malaysia, Netherlands, Sri Lanka, Switzerland, all of which have more than one capital. Although few, some of the countries in the recent past have shifted their capital for various, mainly for geographical regions and for uh, having a control over congestion in old populous cities, as I told you, which were the natural choice of capital. For example, Egypt recently named an unnamed city of Cairo as its new capital. In Indonesia, Jakarta, which was sinking because of frequent floods and swampy lands, and because part of the city is sinking under the sea, shifted its capital to a new area. Capitals continue to attract a large part of government's urban spending all over the world. And capital cities, for example, in India, the contentions that we are seeing between different political parties for control over the capital shows the importance of a capital in the scheme of things that a country does. Capital's history is often synonymous with the history of the country. Books have been written. There are books which have been. There is a book by Khushwant Singh on Delhi, which chronicles the invaders, the politics, the power play, the games that are played with men, money, and women. All these form essential part of capitals. Large number of literature, large number of political work has been written around it. Diplomacy, of course, revolves around the capital. Undoubtedly, it is a fascinating kind of an experience, probing into different capital cities, and often you will be amazed that if you know about the capital of a country, it's quite likely that you would have known quite a bit of the country's own history, culture, social, and political landscape. Thank you very much.